Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, all right, all right. Good night, good night, good night. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of our Mills podcast. Very, very, very exciting episode. I think it's another learning process for us tonight as we try to dive into interracial relationships, interracial marriages. We have two gentlemen that is on the panel tonight that they're currently married to Caucasian women, and I'd like to get their perspective, their point of view as to how it is, what is different between being of a Caucasian versus African American, and want to talk about those stuff. But with me tonight we have Wally West. How you doing, boss? We have
Up.
we have Mr. Chris Lynch.
Yeah, man. Good night. Good night to the panel and good night to the viewers.
All right, we have Corey. We have Corey here with us a little bit in the dark, but we have to work with it.
Manners.
We have a virgin tonight. A male podcast virgin. His name is Daniel. Give thanks, Daniel. And then we have Gio, the man with the plan. How you doing? How you doing, gentlemen?
Night. I'm here.
Good.
All right, so Ryan will join us shortly. He's always late. I'm not sure if Levon will join us tonight because he's having some audio issues. All right, so as I said earlier in the intro, I want to talk about interracial relationships. And funny enough, Levon said me something after I told him what the topics would be like that. 55 years ago, today was when interracial marriages became legal, right? So obviously it wasn't something that was looked upon, or is something that we could have done willingly. All right, so Chris Lynch, I'm really going to start with you, right? Because,
Sorry. Legal where? In America or which country?
In America. I think in America. Yeah.
Okay.
So Chris Lynch, I'm going to start with you, boss, right? Because I know probably you have to go, you're busy, you have work and all that stuff. But you are currently married to a Caucasian woman. And so I just want you to explain to me, explain to the panel, explain to the people who are watching, just how has it been, right? Because I think we're all, well, at least for me, I have always wondered, what it would be like if I was supposed to get married to a Caucasian woman, if I'm supposed to go out of my quote-unquote culture, my race, and go to something else that I have absolutely no idea about. So I want you to tell me, what is it for you, and probably what is the major difference and the major adjustments that you really and truly had to make?
It's no big difference, I will say, from dating women in my culture, especially Jamaican culture, Kens. It's like you have to look at it like this way. In Jamaican, it's a good Jamaican analogy. If you're from the ghetto in Jamaica and you're dating a girl uptown, there's certain things that she don't really want you to do. Like your dress code have to look different for your family and all of that. So it's a good way to start by there. Most of these white women, I would say, they have family members and they want their mom and their dad to be proud. So when they go outside the culture, black men is perceived to be, especially in the United States, especially in a state that where I am, where it's predominantly white, they have a perceived notion that probably like me and my me and my wife would talk. So I understand our family thing. So one of the big notion is that your credit. Them think that Them think that black people don't really take care of their credit. So there's adjustment, and you dress code basically, no pants down a body style. It not like them don't like that. Like and me not dresser, so that is not a adjustment for me, people. Me not dresser. Yeah, and I would never encourage nobody to dress just like that. Not against people who dress like that, but
Mhm.
personally, me not see that how that make you a better man. I think it make you worse of a man than better of a man. So that is one, and it's just a culture difference that I think if you date somebody from any other race, not only white, there's always going to be a cultural difference. There's always going to be things that you eat that she don't eat, and probably stuff that you like that she don't like because of your culture. And probably if you're not mature, you're probably not ready for a relationship like that because it's not going to work because you're going to have too many dislikes. And if you have too many dislikes in a relationship, then you shouldn't be in a relationship
All
because
right.
you have to like stuff that you can do together as a family and all of that.
All right. So let me ask you a question, Chris. Coming from the Jamaican culture, we are. It is often said that we can be quote unquote controlling, even if it's not what we intend to do. It comes off that way. We're controlling, we're demanding. We want things a particular way. So you said that you don't dress a particular way, but what do you think was the biggest adjustment for you, knowing that, man, come from Jamaica, no, we're gone all the way where you are, and you're in a predominantly white state, so you kind of can't really move how you move at Jamaica, but you have to polish up the thing and polish up the thing away. So, what was like the biggest adjustment for you in also getting a part of our family for kind of accept it away? Because a lot of persons don't really like dive into those conversations, but let us be honest, we have to get some form of acceptance.
Yes, because when you look at it, basically the pushback, you touch on this that Levan did the research. The pushback basically it didn't start in the black culture. The pushback against interracial relationships start with the white culture, and you still have people who think like that. So the pushback really didn't start with us, James.
Yeah.
The pushback start with the white culture saying with the white people saying that they shouldn't be in a relationship with either a man shouldn't be a black man shouldn't be in a relationship with a white woman. So
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you my personal experiences because I only can talk from me.
All right.
So two of the biggest thing is America people has a big dog and cat culture. Jamaica is not used to that. So America has a big dog and cat culture.
Uh huh.
I am going to still stick out, and I don't want dogs in my bed. I must personally say that.
But
I will
listen,
still stick
let's
out
not
on
get
that one. But I mean, over time, I think it's a little. I think you cannot look at it like the. Let's start with the dogs.
Hmm.
Dogs in Jamaica and dogs in America are not the same. That's the first thing. That's so you cannot look at it like the same. Like I tell you, Kens, most time you meet a dog, you might see a dog. Like I go to the park to play soccer. Most time I have white friends that come and they come to play soccer, football,
With
and
dog.
their dogs are running around. They just want to be friendly with you.
Uh huh.
Sometimes some of them stink, not our style in Jamaica. We don't want nothing stink on us. So that is so so that can be a little pushback. But that is the biggest thing for me. But I come around to loving cat. I must say that. I come around to liking cat. I must say me and the cat have a good relationship, I must say. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I know it's not that you're in it because you still have pushback. It's not that because I'm in it, but I guess when you're in something, then you realize that there's not really a big fuss about it. Like it's not going to smell and cause you a lot of problem that way, then it's probably okay. That was the biggest adjustment from me, like dating outside my culture.
All right, all right. So let me get to Daniel now because Daniel is also he's a virgin on the show, first time on the show. He's also married to a Caucasian woman. So Daniel, is there anything that Chris Lynch did not mention that you have experienced?
Well, I think him cover pretty much most things, but particular for me, my experience, I live in Texas. I live in a small town in a Texas. So we've had actual overt racist people like say shit to us and things like that. But overall, it's the cultural differences. It's like how we live life at Jamaica and how them live life over here different, and it get tricky sometimes when you have to navigate the waters to kind of figure out, all right, this is how we kind of do things at Jamaica. We don't really do the dog in a house thing. Yes, we can have a dog, but the dog can like stay up on the patio. Kind of try and make compromises here and there. But me personally really think dating a white girl much different than dating a black girl, much different than dating an Asian girl, but depending on them culture.
So Daniel, in your family, do you guys have any pets?
Yes, we actually have two cats.
Two cats.
Yes.
Or
The
the
cat
cat.
them predominantly live outside, but Texas again get like 100+ degrees. So like times like now we pull them out of the house and then have them little in section.
So have the and I'm not getting into your business, so you can decline to answer at any
Mhm.
point in time. But I know from other people that normally Caucasian women like when the animals are in the bed. So the dog in the bed, the cats in the bed, they hug up and kiss up and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever seen anything like that? That at first it kind of make you a little bit weird out, and then eventually you got used to it.
Not with my wife. So she kind of have the same thing. She don't like pets in beds because then pets go shed and then here go they all over the bed and then you roll around at here and all of that. So generally we have our pets pretty trained with them to sleeping on the bed or nothing like that. Them have them own
Mhm.
section with them to sleep and them have them own thing with them do. And then most of the time if it's not too hot, them they outside.
All right. So I don't want this question to come off away, but I think it's a necessary question to ask. Why is it that, or what do you think influence? Because,
Buffalo.
all right, so like for me, right, like I love Jamaican woman. That's what does me. I just love Jamaican woman. I care, like I've never dated an American woman. If all my counters are Jamaican woman me I talk to. Right? I just love my Jamaican woman because I believe I don't have to change my lifestyle. I don't have to kind of adjust. I don't have to tell them how I want the relationship for work or how, because them already know the expectation. Them already know how we stay. Them already know what we want. Them already know the likes and the dislikes. Them already know say when I go down low and all them things. Them know them things, right? However, when it come on to another culture now, it is a different expectation from them. So, Daniel, is there something specific that say, uh, let me step out of the box a little bit, or is it based on location? Or I'm in Texas now, and what I'm seeing is predominantly white. That's why I decided to do this. What is it that really influences? Let me give this a try. I don't know about it, but let me give it a try.
So it wasn't necessarily something like specific that influenced the decision because women there is mostly like Spanish girls. Like you have some beautiful Spanish girls, them look good, them nice, them know to cook, everything rare, rare, rare. But with my wife in particular, she rather attractive. She pretty cute. So we go after the cute girl, and then essentially one thing lead to the other. We go up
Okay.
on a couple of dates, and then it just move forward from there. It's not necessarily we go for the white girl, we just go for the prettiest girl we could find at the time because I like a challenge.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. And I'm going to get in the rest of guys in a second, but I think I just have one more question, I guess, for both Chris Lynch and you, Daniel, and any one of you guys can answer first. But do you think that black men stepping out of their race and talking to a Caucasian woman or an Asian woman or a Spanish, do you think it has any direct effect on the quote unquote black community? Do you think it has any effect on that? Because and the reason why I asked that question is because I realized that I hear some feedback. Well, anyway, I kind of realized that when I see even sport players and they're saying, hey, when they make money and them start talk to the Caucasian woman or the lighter skinned woman, we kind of see people wishing bad for them. Oh, she soon take all their money. Or she soon sue him. Or she soon call police on him. So do you think that we as black men, if we decide to divert a little bit out of our norm and go to something different, do you think it affects the black community in any way?
Me personally don't think it affect it because we're going to use examples now.
Yeah.
LeBron James' son, he goes to a predominantly white school. What you expect from him? It's the same thing with me. It's the same thing with most people. When you go to an environment, the reason why in Jamaica most time we are going to date Jamaicans is because we go to school with all beautiful black females, right? So what I didn't expect you to date a white female in Jamaica. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a long reach. So most time it's that. And then if you look at NBA players, if you look at sports people, soon as they become rich, what are they surrounded with? The spots that they start to go in, obviously it's more than likely going to be more white females there. That's all it is. I don't think anybody really. Me personally don't know nobody would just go date a white female just to say them going outside of the black race. Like that would have been bad if black man really going outside of the race just not to be with
All
with
right.
female inside the black race. I
All
think
right.
that would have been very sad.
1 second, Christian. So Token is saying it will only have an effect once they
Anybody
go
hear me?
on ability campaign. For generations, black women feel less confident because of the
Hello?
phenotypical difference. It's best to ask black women these questions. That's true. All right, Token. If you have any time, Token, you can definitely come on and we can definitely ask you some of these questions because I believe these questions are very important. But let me get to you, Mr. Wally West. Because Wally West, I want come on, and I want to ask a serious question, and then I'm going to get Gio and Corey involved as well. But I want to ask you a question. I'll ask the same question that I asked Chris Lynch. Do you believe, black men stepping out, for whatever reason it may be, right? Do you believe that it has a direct impact on the black community? Do you believe it is a reflection on quote unquote the black woman? For whatever reason, do you think that is the case?
Well, I actually see the other way around. That is because of what the black race has gone through, why they take that route. So I'll use the parallel in Jamaica. A lot of times you have Virgin who guys who is their great accomplishment is the data browning, because the thought process that prevails is that the lighter your skin color, then the better you are, the more ratings you have, because browning better than black woman. You have the whole bleaching phenomenon. So because there is such a lot of negative stigma associated with the black skin color, persons know you have some sports players who actually see it as an achievement to date a white woman. So okay, I reach now, so I cannot associate myself with a black woman. I can't tie myself to a black woman. In order to manifest that achievement. Yes, I have the money. No, the other part of it is to now get a white woman. I definitely agree with what Chris Lynch said, that a part of it also has to do with the circle you find yourself in. But there are some persons who, I mean, I've spoken to, guys who are Indian. Them say, boy, them will have the black woman on the side, but them will never marry her because there's just this negative stigma that boy, the black skin color is just not good enough. So, and then now when you have the black persons dating the white woman, it kind of now emphasize to the black woman that okay, we are not good enough. Our own black men, don't think us worthy enough that when they have reached the highest status to know have a companion that looks like me. So what is wrong with me? You have some other women that say, well, they are colorblind, it doesn't matter. But you definitely have that demographic that sees it as an affront and an offense when their black man goes outside of their race, because they see it as them basically not seeing their own as good enough.
All right. So Wally, and there are people that are agreeing with you, and I certainly agree with you to an extent. But then, Wally, would it be the onus on us, or I guess it's more a question. Would the onus be on us as black men now to kind of try and empower our black queens to say, hey, you know, listen, even though there is a negative quote unquote stigma around, I am still choosing you because, I want to empower you as my queen instead of, and I'm not saying Chris Lynch and Daniel is doing this, but instead of diverting probably to another culture, stick with our quote unquote culture for try and uplift our queens. And remember, this go far back, where slavery and all of this, it built up from there, so come up to now, right? So is it like an onus on us as black men to do this?
Absolutely. I mean, we give the encouragement by our actions. I mean, I find it so ironic that, when you go on the North Coast, like Ochi, or when you go Mobi, and even a lot of these entertainers who are Rastafarian, who supposed to be the vanguards of black consciousness, you see so many of them with white women. So, if the Rasta man who supposed to uphold, the motherland, choosing the white person, then that further entrenches the belief and the narrative that okay, the black woman is just not good enough. So we and it's not just taking it even closer to home, right? So we don't necessarily have a white woman problem, but we need to get out of this thing of pretty hair. Boy, may I forget a browning with pretty hair. When you say that, no, you automatically are saying that our nice, beautiful empress with her natural thick, rich hair, that's not good hair. Boy, I
All right,
want the
Wally.
baby I
All
get
right, stick
blue.
up, Wally. Stick up in
Sure,
right.
go ahead.
Still a pick. Come on, read Tolkien comment. She's saying the closer a black woman is to European features, the more they'll get picked. Men will gravitate to women who has looser hair texture and straighter nose to those who have kinkier texture, etc. Listen, I'll tell you something. You see, and Corey can attest to this. I'm gonna make Corey come in. You see, when I was going to George's, the man them used to call me a bunch of names because I used to play sports and so. But apart from the sports aspect of it, them used to call me either Mr. Peppers or Pepper Green, right? Because no matter how much I brush my hair, the hair still roll up, roll up, roll up. Like the side right or so, like it still roll up, roll up. No matter how much I brush it to my wig, it still roll up, roll up. So Corey, don't you think again? And I believe it happened in an all-girls school as well, where when the girl them do them hair and run on the back right, so it have the little roly pepper green as well. So Corey, do you think that again, how we are socialized in high school, those things also allow us to say, boy, hey, may have to go look for a girl with some pretty hair. Boy, I may have to go look with some better texture because my hair is not good enough.
This is a multi-layered thing for me. I'll be real. Respect to the two brother them who are married to white women. Big up to them. You see me? Personally, I couldn't do it. You see me? I'm being honest. I could not. I'm not going to say I haven't been with, I've never been in a relationship actually with a woman outside of my race. But I've, laid down with a few of them. But for me, if I'm being honest, I believe that the way we were socialized, as you say, watching them Disney movie, bro, we were socialized to think. It was injected into our brains from a very young age to think that white people are superior to us. Like that's really how we were socialized, and it goes over it flows over into the woman. As a matter of fact, probably the white man is probably the only figure in terms of the white race that was really looked down on. When you compare it to a black man. Black man has always looked up, strong and physical and muscular, whatever. And the white woman was that. She was at the pinnacle, like you reach when you get that. And I think I'm not saying that's the reason I didn't manage with white woman. But there is a systemic, a societal issue. Like we see that. We've seen and I've seen my thing, and I know when I answer your question, but I've seen where black men say them not date no black woman and on a body. But them date a white girl and I no body, bro. Like I think that there are certain them compromise more with a white woman. You see me? I mean, I like that. The next thing, brother, Chris Lynch, and again, man, I know the dynamics of a relationship and the relationship you have with your in-laws, but it kind of sound like you really have to come in and prove yourself away. Outside of just being an in-law where you have to prove yourself as being worthy, but the way it come off, and again, man, I know the dynamics of it, but it came off as if you had to prove yourself as not being that typical black man first, and then you kind of get an
Let
edge.
her
That's how
answer
it came
that
off
part
to me.
before I go on. I would
Yeah, man.
say prove myself. I'm more like saying the mindset.
Bad man,
What
put on your glasses on.
I would say the prove yourself part of it. I would say like having a good relationship with my wife. She would tell me the mindset of family members. So it's not me proving myself. It's just she telling me I wasn't doing nothing different basically. I was a good young man. Better than some of the white gentlemen them
Counterparts.
where them could I ever walk. But I just say them mindset. Me I give basically people a mindset of some of the things that them see us as. So me personally never have to really change up, not really with me though. Like me not think me have to change up nothing. And if me have to change up nothing, my wife is right here. So she would have tell me.
All right. So let me read some comments and then I get Gio in, right? So here is Cadlan saying that exactly. That's why most black women don't think they're beautiful. Black women right now have to put on false hair, makeup to consider to be beautiful. Uh Let me read another one up here. I think Michelle was saying that, her mother is black. Her mother is black and her father is white. She said not all interracial relationship consists of black men and white women. What about my parents? White man and black woman, right? And Michelle, listen, you are free to come on and and talk from that point of view. If you're available, Levan will send you the link and you can come on. And she's also saying my mother was accused of abandoning black men. Gio, I know you are for your black woman in Gio and you're for your black queens. But based on everything that we were saying, Gio, what do you think about it?
All right. First and foremost, good night. To each his own. Not everybody gonna walk the same path, but on a final note, we all name man. Before I even get into the question, you went to school at North Street,
Absolutely.
and we all know that there's just three prestigious institutes at North Street. They're going to be Kingston Public Hospital, Being Company, and then St. George's College.
Yeah.
You going to St. George's College. You fade your ear at a certain height. Someone of lighter skin tone that going to have a different texture here, you know that they get privilege as regards that. They're going to send you to the barber and they're going to send that gentleman to class. So from
Absolutely.
that, from there, and then they're showing us certain standard. If we don't strong in ourselves and know, say, yo, me a Pan-African, me African man, this is my route, this is how me I go do things, this is how me I go through life, you go get misled.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
other than the Proud Family on Disney, me not see no other dominated black cartoon or black sitcom where they on Disney. All of them is white. Lizzie McGuire, all of them white. So from them time they are try to show you say, yo, white is the right color to go. But then again, you have to understand now, you guys ask a question if we us as man should be blamed or should try to change black woman and all of them things. They have to understand now there's a lot of things we can do now and much and not much now. Human being have to take responsibility for them own mistake and all of them something there now. Chris Lynn says something as regards to credit. I work at a place where we get American customers. And I can tell you this. When you take out the phone in your ear, LaQuisha, you just hear a black name, you know say she not no credit. Right off the bat, me I tell you that, brother. For you hear them name that she not no credit. Me can tell you that. When you hear some Caucasian name and you run credit, you know say, yo, you look on some 750, some 600, something like this we can work with. So when my boy I say, yo, film wife tell him the motion as regards to the situation, that is good. Cause look on it, you know. You see in a black family, a woman we know say our family like our man, you know, but she are saying, me I stick with my man. You see in a white family, if the family not like the man, she a go pick her family. So I think she a say she a run off with no man. You must be mad to rot it. So there's a whole heap of things there for fix. And you can't just blame we alone. Because all Wally up there so say, like somebody in a comment say, yo, we as black man now really make the woman them feel welcome and this and that. Well, look what we can do. When you see one black music video, where you see now a white woman or a woman in falls there and makeup. Some of them women are there in them shell and them on a turkey. Tell them say, oh, you looking nice today. Kill them dead, you look them. And I compliment you give them. Who know we can put on cape and a cape we wear a shirt. We can't do so much. Who know put black man on a bus like we are Jack.
Gio, beg your peace. Beg your peace. And I don't like to go down this road, Ken. But I just have to give you an example again. Remember say, alright, so sometimes I make my daughters ear breathe for a moment. My family members, remember say my family members now, you know, Jamaican, you know, they don't like see my daughter with her natural ear, you know. They want to see it braid up, they want to see it perm. But me personally, me like see them with them natural ear, you know. That's just me. Me like see my daughter them with them natural ear, you know. Me have to run them most of the time. They want to see it to fit the Jamaican culture or whatever. But me want my daughter them to grow and love them here.
Yep, absolutely.
You get what I say? So I just show you how it contribute, the culture contribute to it. Because me personally want to see my daughters here naturally. I like see it naturally. Sometimes I just get a break and say no more braiding for all a good 3 months. No more braiding. Go and look for your ear and love it. But so that just to pick up on the point of Gio said.
So Gio,
and these are older family members of mine.
So Gio made a great point, right? Gio made an absolutely great point. And I want to ask you, Chris Lynch and Daniel, but let me get Daniel first. So Daniel, let me ask you, and this is obviously this is hypothetical, but let us say your wife's side of family didn't accept. They're like, nah, black guy, nah, I don't want a black guy, white guy, I need. What would be the response? Would you say, well, my wife loved me, so me and my wife are gonna work together, or you would just have to remove yourself from that situation?
Well, for me personally, family is very important. So if initially when we start talking to my wife, we did have no like pushback from our family. Me personally would have walked away from the situation. So I'm gonna say, yeah, guess what? Me don't want to deal with that. If I saw them thought process stay under my responsibility to change their mind, so I'm gonna just move the other direction, because why spend the extra effort with that when, especially to me personally, family is very important.
Absolutely. And here's Travis saying some people like curry, some like cook up, some like cassava bread, some like Chinese, some like pastries. Don't make people
Personally,
pressure.
me like all type of woman is not necessarily some only like white woman, but me think all type of woman beautiful. It's just mainly
And
for the
to
right.
apply and to
Ah,
apply to that, all
yeah.
of them Kems, all of them between the middle is pink. That's all I can say about that.
All
Everyone
right.
is pink. Every culture.
Every culture. And here is I'm talking saying it's definitely a cultural thing. Years of personal self-doubt and banter then causes insecurity. If our hair isn't done, it's deemed less attractive. Here might seem simple, but it is a big factor. And I agree with Tokian 1,000%. But this is my issue where I'll take with our black queens now. If we are so caught up with the Caucasian women and men wanting European standards to here and so, why is it that, and obviously Tokian is not this person because she has wear her natural hair for as long as I've known her. But why is it that as black queens now, we get caught up in I not even know what them called, the lace wig, the perm in a hair, all of them things. Why is it that women get caught? And I know the women in the comment section, I don't know if you guys can answer that, but why is it that you guys get caught up on the excuse that I often hear? Oh, I can't bother do me here. It take too long for do a man in time. But I don't see the woman embracing the natural hair. But very quick to, oh, let me just perm this, or let me just put some texture in this, or let me just put on a wig. So if any woman in the comment section can give me an answer,
I've asked that question before.
yeah,
As I'm very pro natural way. Baby, you see? I
yeah.
prefer it that way. To be honest, I prefer like girls with dreads and everything like that. Funny enough, my wife didn't have dreads. But that's honestly that's my preference, I'm asked that question the one time, and so I never even look on it that way, and it is so true. And a girl tell me say, "Yo, in the professional world, people don't respect people with natural hair. So no matter how you
All
want to
right.
be, no matter
See
how you
somebody
want to
there
be
on the
for the
same part.
culture,
I,
and how
I
you
can't
want to be
substitute that too.
down, bro. If you want the best for yourself, sorry, me, I'm a driver, so if you're nice, that's right. But if you want the best for yourself, career-wise, a lot of women are going to take the road of what you call cream them ear. You see me, texturize them ear, whatever you want to call it, because apparently it looks more professional.
But
See?
all right, Corey, that is very important. But we're not even talk about the professional side. Like you have women out there, if them supposed to go up on a quote unquote vacation and the hairdresser cancel, a problem.
Yeah. Because of
Them
them, the
can't.
moment I said earlier, the injection of the mind, bro, like them, again, them feel like, and most of them, don't get me wrong, there's a reason, there's a very small of them are due to the career, but most women, it's been injected, bro. They are so, like, that is like a part of we now. Like, we can't even get rid of that anymore. Like, forget about that. That is
I
like
can say something.
Yeah, Gio, go ahead.
natural for them now.
Let me say something. Say this where we are talking about. If we are look on it, we look on it and make it seems easy, but it's something that is really hard. A woman will endorse her naturally go through a lot. And I have to remember this. They say if you're not mentally strong, society will change you. Remember when Queen Africa just come out, she black like tar. Queen Africa white now. Remember so when Etana come out, a steel look she have in a fjord, for year straight now. Be a makeup. She a run down Adele. So you say if you're not strong, society will mold and shape you. Oh, you want to be. I just we as a man have to know say yo, you go try find Empress where I tried the way or you that want for chat.
No,
But me I go
but Gio, stop it. Hold on right there, so Gio. But again, if you have a man like, say for example, you have a man like a Corey now, who really and truly want a woman to embrace her natural side. But then when you try and get a woman to embrace, and Corey say it is injected in the head. But when we try to get our queens to embrace the natural side, we hear say, oh, we are trying to be controlling, or we are trying to change them, or this is what them love. Why we not embrace what them love? But then when it come to another argument now, it's like them talk about two different things. So like them talk about a two side of them mouth. So which one is it really?
But let's be honest, are we asking them to embrace them natural side because we really want them to embrace them natural side, or we just want to see if them willing to embrace them natural side? Because I don't think most men want women for good natural. I don't think most men want that. I think it's a very select few men who actually like the dreads, who like the natural look. Most of them like the cream hair, the nails. You understand? Like I just
That
that most man go for.
that
You know,
is
maybe
some
them don't like the
persons.
eyelashes, but you know, most man don't really like the eyelash thing. But most of them like the cream ear. Them like the nails. Them like the you understand? Them like the
Mm.
makeup. You know, so are we really asking them because we want them for go natural? You know, like if I be real, like
Corey,
if every woman at Jamaica go natural tomorrow, how would I feel about that at Jamaica?
love me personally, lovely. Cause that's
You know,
someone I try. That's someone I
me
try.
personally too, but I don't think most men would.
That sound like me to come and love a natural year, but I'm going to cut in from it. Reason being, I'm sure that you guys might be familiar with Janela Pursuits, right? The other day she was on Simpsons and she was talking about it that she was at a particular station before and they were basically telling her to cream her hair to present news. She refused to do it, and guess what? The bigger station took her up, and she still maintain her natural hair. So I mean, it's also societal when you look on it, as Gia mentioned. It's what they want to mold you into a particular person. So they think that oh, because the hair is cream and processed and all of that, you look way more professional than per
No,
se someone with natural.
well,
And it
truly.
start from the school. They blocking out dreadlocks, little kids out of school. That doesn't make no sense. Like, how do you block out a little kid from school with her natural ear? That's how, if you leave your ear to grow, Kems, it will become locked, like a dreadlock. That's how your natural ear is. But they block out kids out of school for that.
Yeah,
So
but
that generation would have failed us and failed us over and over and over again.
all right. So Corey, not Corey. So Levon just mentioned something, right? And he's saying about that person who, they wanted her to cream her hair, and I'm saying there's a lot of things in society that they probably want us to do, but I believe, as I think Gia mentioned it as well, I think you have to be mentally strong. You have to be willing to stand up for something, right? We can't just fall for anything. So you can't be like, okay, well, if you want this job, then you have to wear a wig. But so you don't like wear a wig, but you just have to wear the wig because you want the job. Like I believe that we really and truly, again, it'll go back to what we are talking about initially about interracial relationships. Because Toki and others have come forward and them say, hey, the reason why black women feel this way is because it has been, an oppressed system and systematic racism and all of that for a very long time. So I'm saying that okay, if that is that, then I believe the queens also have a duty in order to uphold their standard, and also the kings have a duty for also propel our queens. That is just my point of view.
The thing is that is as Gio mentioned, is something that is really entrenched, not just nationally, but all over. If you look at the again, I have had interaction with women who say them nah marry no black man who here too roly because them want the baby come out with pretty hair, right? So never mind if him is going to be a good father or not, that is irrelevant. Him here must too roly because them want the baby to have pretty hair, right? These are things that still prevail in our culture. When you look at certain artists that get pushed, there is more, especially on the female side. The ones that tend to get more exposure and that are more marketable are the ones that are of a certain hue. So we really it really have to come from all angles in terms of how we address this problem. So the media has a big part to play who in terms of those who they place in positions of prominence. Don't just big up the Browning, but also big up the Empress. As parents, we have a role to play as it relates to how we grow up our children. I remember a couple of experiences. When I was younger, our neighbor who was Indian, right? When you was younger, you had the Indian on the horses.
Hey, hold on, hold
Pop,
on, Wally. Hold on there, Wally.
sure.
So, we have a special announcement, man. We have a special announcement, man. Mr. The newly married Raggy Winter is in the place, but we have to give this one a round of applause, man. We have to give this one a
Yes,
round of
sir.
applause.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, boss. I'm not really switch the subject, but I watched the wedding on Zoom, and I'm telling you, Raggy, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spectacle, boss. Your wife looked absolutely amazing. I mean, you were all right, but your wife looked absolutely amazing, and I wish you and your wife the best in the union. And listen, as you know, boss, and you and I have talked off here, it's a lot of work, boss. You see me, it's a lot of work. But I know if anybody can handle it, is you, boss. So I just want to wish you all the best. Thank you for being here. And we'll go on, right? All right. So, Wally, I'm gonna make you finish up in a second, but TS is saying I have heard teachers talking about students here. If it's short, it picky picky. Years of teaching girls to hate aspects of themselves.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So I remember, I would have been probably 13 or 14 at the time. So my neighbor, Indian, mother Indian, father Indian. And I remember we were playing with the toy. So there was a black horse and a white horse, and him grab the white horse, and then push the black horse to me and say, take the ugly black horse. And it resonated with me, like, why would he say something like that? And I mean, it's not like he was much. He was a little, probably a shade lighter than me. But me, I say, but why would you say take your ugly black horse? So these sort of things, just prevail in the culture, and as a result of that, you have this kind of outlook that the black is, if you're black, stay in the back. If you're white, then you're all right. So it's really something that on an individual level we have to deal with our children, and then nationally, again, we have to see in terms of the media how we push and what sort of narratives we promote.
All right, all right. So, Reggie, we're talking about interracial marriages, interracial relationships, right? We have two guys that are on the podcast that are currently married to Caucasian women, right? So, one thing I want to ask you, Reggie, because there's a notion that's out there in Jamaica, really in the world. When you see a black girl, one of the first things you say, she look good for a black girl, right? And listen, I've been guilty of saying it. I don't know if any of you guys have, but I've been guilty of saying it, not realizing what I'm saying, just what I've been always hearing. Oh, she look good for a black girl, not just she look good, but she look good for a black girl. So probably, if she never black, probably she wouldn't look good, whatever, right? So what do you think about that statement, Raggy? And what do you think overall about because before you came on, we were talking about how we can start allowing our queens to really and truly feel like queens.
All
Yeah,
right. Evening,
yeah.
Kim's evening, gents, evening, everyone. All right. Glad to be back. All right. So, yeah, I've heard the statement many times. She looks good for a black girl or a black woman. Never understood what it really meant. Never used it myself. To be honest, if someone looks good, someone just looks good. You could be pink, you could be white, you could be purple, green, orange, yellow. If you look good, you just look good. To be honest, I'm 100% convinced we all have our preferences. Whether or not they're right or wrong, that's another discussion. Personally, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So that's my preference. Honestly, when it comes on to how we have been brought up in the Jamaican context, to be honest, 2 decades, 3 decades ago, it was all about, the browning. It was all about if you're lighter, the lighter you are as a black person, the prettier you're thought to be. If your hair was straighter, that was the good or the pretty hair. Never really subscribed to that, to be honest. That has never been me personally, and I think I've said it on the show before. I don't like false hair, cream hair. Listen, you're born with Scotch Brite for your hair. Bring it, come. I will love it up. If it means I have to put on gloves so I can touch your hair, that's fine. I'll put on the gloves and touch your hair.
Yeah.
Right. But as it comes on to, looking good as for a black woman, never really subscribed to it. I hope that the gents here will stop it in this generation and raise their younger ones, their children, their wives, their or have the conversations with their wives, their partners, their sisters, or the other gentlemen in their space that we can stop this. Because to be honest, if you look good, you look good. If you're not so good, you're just not so good, and it has nothing to do with the color. So I really hope that we can stop the colorism and stuff. But personally speaking, like I said, I have my own preference. I'm pretty sure everybody has his or her preference as to what or how right that preference is. That's kind of different. But,
All right.
me,
So
yeah.
all right. So let me ask a question. Let me ask you a question, Wally. Right? All of we all of we go. Yeah. All of we go on a little trip. Everybody I bring them partner. We go on a trip. Me, you, Raggy, Lever, and everybody, Gio, and Chrislyn show up. Right? Everybody I bring them partner. Everybody partner black. Everybody partner black. And Chrislyn show up. And his partner is Caucasian, right? Is it what would be said? Because listen, again, we're gonna talk real, we're gonna talk the facts. It's gonna look away, it's gonna look different, right? It doesn't gonna look different, right? But what would be said, or all right, first thing, what would be said about that space that Chris Lynch bringing wife in? Would it be, well, I'll be a black people over there why Chris Lynch decided to bring him wife right or so or whatever the case may be? Or would it be like, I guess I want to ask you, how as a nation can we allow this thing to be normalized? Because I know if 10 are we there and 9 are we have black women and Chris Lynch come with his Caucasian wife, the attention I got upon Chris Lynch and his wife, because this is out of the box. So I think I want to ask, how can we get to a point where this thing is just like, oh, Chris Lynch, oh, hi Chris Lynch wife, hi Mrs. Lynch, and everything just normal, instead of everybody gonna stay upon her and say, oh, a papers him want, a papers him want, with that, or whatever thing them are gonna have to say about him. How can we get to that place?
The unfortunate thing is that we're not going to get to that place unless we deal with all of the baggage that we have associated with our skin color. One, which come from various aspects, ourselves and externally, and what we've gone through in terms of slavery. That's one, and then two, once that culture prevails, where persons are marrying for a green card, once you see a black man with a white man, that are the first thing that will come to your mind, because that is something that happens. So until that stop happening and until we address that baggage issue, then we will forever continue to have that sort of thought process when we see these interracial couples. But I
Yeah.
just want to go back a second to
Uh-huh.
one of the things that you asked in terms of what can we do. Just a quick story. So as men and as women, what we can do is affirm each other, right? With no motive. And I share a quick story. So, going through the vineyard stall, I saw this woman and her complexion was magnificent, just rich, dark chocolate. It's like the sun, the sun just a bounce off her skin and it look like she a glow. I say, oh my God. So I say, Miss Morning, boy, I love your complexion. So I say she look at me and then she turn her head and then she just bust out a big smile like She's
Yeah.
never heard something like that before. So
Yeah.
it's why, not that you look good, but your complexion look good because the women will hear say, boy, them look good all the time, and yeah, you said yes, it go in one ear and out the other because okay, you have an ulterior motive. But when a man tell you say, boy, specifically say your complexion look good, I mean, it just look she just started glowing. So in our own way, we can where we see persons expressing blackness, affirm them. Say if it's your co-worker come with her hair let out, say, boy, I love I mean, if you genuinely think that way, don't just put on. But if you genuinely feel that way, say it. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't say, boy, I came, say Maria that be a whole let out her ear. Say it to her, and those things will help
No,
you
but Wally, all right. So hold
affirm them.
on before. So let me read. So Cadlan is saying, I see many black men in ultra rares holding hand with some white woman weigh about 400 pounds. Uh, Wally, Wally,
Ken,
you see Wally. The thing is with some of these black women, right, or some of these women in general, you know, when you try to, and I think Gio mentioned it, when you try to kind of affirm them away, they make it seem like say, yeah, look them. Make it seem like say you want something from them. So it's like if I say, boy, princess, love how you look nice. You make me day today. It's kind of like they used to what after that? Oh, can I get your number? Can I do this? Can I do that? Add me upon Facebook, add me upon Snapchat, give me your WhatsApp, whatever the case may be. So sometimes they're a little bit standoffish, within reason. They're a little bit standoffish where that is concerned. So, I think men would really and truly like to Africa. Jamaican men, them say Jamaican men, they're more very sweet, right? So they will say whatever. So I think they will affirm the woman, but I think how accept how the woman accept it, I think is different because she think that there is some ulterior motive, there is something that's going to come after it, and they probably don't want to deal with all of that we're gonna come after. If it's just a compliment, I think they'll be like, all right, no problem. Thank you so much, have a good day. But for the mass majority, it's always walk up. So babes, give me a number now, and then after that you get kind of crazy. But we're gonna move on a little from this because we are talking about this to like So Christine, so let's ask you and Dia a quick question. Last question, my phone. Have you guys ever been to the opposite where your wife invited out and you guys are the only black people who show up and
All the
everybody
time.
just
All the
have
time. All the time.
really?
that
Yeah,
is
man.
that is easy in my state, like I said, Ken.
So
90.
so so
Like
so
if I
Daniel,
see every black person when I see in my state, them call to me. Like everyone.
Yeah.
Them
They're the
call to
only
me
black
because it's
person
rare.
in the department I work.
so Daniel, how does it feel being in that surrounding, being in that environment?
For me in particular, it not feel no way. Me just see it as me in a room with a whole bunch of people. Yes, them white, but cool. Me a Jamaican early, me already come with a vibe, so it's like, yeah, me in another room with everybody, like, cool, yeah, on a white, congratulations, move on to me day.
By
You
the
get
way,
me?
which part of my work, same thing. If I'm going to a meeting,
Yeah,
it's 12 white man. Me
only black
alone
person
black.
in the group.
12
Same
white
thing.
and you
So
alone black.
me alone. So
It has, all right. It has always been, because sometimes you think about moving, and I don't know if this happened to you, Christine, but sometimes you think about moving to a state. Like I thought about moving to Texas, and the first thing on me here, the first thing, brother, where I do at that quote unquote white state, like where I do, like you have to experience this, you have to experience that. So
No
it's
income tax.
all. What you say, Daniel?
No income tax.
Yeah, well, Florida now have none either, so them are gonna say, hey, where I live Florida, where you can be around your people, and go Texas, where you probably have to face all of that. But hey, next thing I want to talk about, right? I want to talk about accountability, and a woman actually raised up this to me. She was saying that why is it that in relationships, men never really and truly take accountability for their role in the breakup, right? And for today, I said, you know what? I'm going to come forward, so I'm going to tell you guys. I want you guys to tell me two things. I know it can be more, but tell me two things about you that you believe you should change or you can change in order to improve your relationship or marriage. Come, nobody act like we think perfect, because we know we think not perfect. We know we have a lot of things to work on, we know we have a lot of things to unpack. So we just want to tell you two things where we feel like say, we need for work on. And I'll go first, for break the ice, and then you guys can go after, right? So for me personally, right, I think shut down. Like if the communication I go crazy, I shut down immediately. And when I say shut down, I shut you out. Right? So when I text you, when I call you, I'm gonna see you text me, I'm gonna ignore it, I'm just not talk to you. And I am not going to talk to you until I am comfortable when I feel like see you quote unquote learn your lesson. Totally toxic, totally a toxic thing to do. I understand totally. Currently working on it, but I think that is something that I could use you know, in a relationship, in my relationship, in order for it to be better. Number two, I think we have a lot. Let me see which one I'm gonna use for number two. I think number two is sometime I have a particular bias, right? And when I have that bias, nobody can tell me say that bias not right. And no matter how you try to come around and try to show me a different point of view, I am going to find a way for us to come back around to that same bias that I have, for us to agree on my bias. And the argument will not finish, it will not end until you tell me, say, okay, let us agree to disagree, or your point is right. All right. So those are my two things that I believe. I mean, I'm sure there's more for me, of course, but those are the two things I'm willing to let out that I believe for me personally. Because last week we come on here, I know Raggy and Christine Chancellor wasn't on here, but last week we come on here and we tell the women why we are a catch and why them for there with we and why we are so loving and we're sexy and we're nice. So this week, we want to take some accountability, talk about things that we feel like say we need change. Raj, I believe all of us are toxic at some in some way, shape, or form. All right. So Raggy, you just get married, boss. So I want you, looking at what you've been through in a relationship. Now you're jumping in a marriage. Obviously, same standards apply. But tell me two things that you believe that you need to work on to be a better husband.
All right. All right. So two things. Uh, One is ego, and that goes without saying. For me personally, it's difficult hearing that you aren't right. It's difficult hearing that I'm not right all the time. It's impossible to be right all the time, but it's difficult hearing and accepting that I'm not right all the time in all situations. And the second thing is it's difficult having heard that I'm wrong or not right.
Mm-hmm.
I do say
Wrong?
sorry immediately. Those two things. And the deeper you get in a relationship, is the quicker you need to lose those two traits because it really has no place in a marriage because it's a different kettle of fish if you're trying to go to bed angry because it's not like you can leave your marital home and not come home and hope to have a great marriage. So the sooner you get to like reduce your ego, kill it, and the sooner you get to accept that you are wrong and apologize immediately when you come to that realization, is the better
Mm-hmm.
that your problem solving skills will be. And I personally think that your relationship would be. So that's it.
All right. Gio.
All right, I'm here. Well, before I answer the question here, there's something where bother me.
All right.
When me say
Let,
I'm over and over.
let us know what's bothering you.
Jamaican woman need to understand, say, when a man, when the man and a man in a relationship and the things where the man used to do in other relationship, they've met the relationship sour or come to an end. When him go to the next relationship, him a go change. You don't need to walk and tell people say you see it. a dirty dog. Him change the relationship there and this and that. So them woman expect say you damage them. You go
Mm-hmm.
to a next woman, you must do the same thing. Come on, man. Woman need to stop carrying that look dirty style. Me I take some brethren this man I'm at them but me I say brother, I something you have to just understand and just know say yo,
I
as a
agree.
female say.
I
But
agree.
may I go answer the question? For me, is and I don't open up that much. I'm trying, but some of my time when me I try to bring my point across and like my partner is like she kind of there in a fear look own look shell towards certain things. Then when you try to show her certain things, she'll say yo this that. So that's the next thing when me just make me shut down. If I know something where I go take her life, me I go make she meet up in night. And then when something at me that say, you see why if you try to take that route here, all of them something there. That a one. And the next thing too, I'm not very patient. Not very patient. And I don't know if I through the last school me used to attend it a technical school, I always try to do things from a technical point of view. So that are the two things them will beat me.
Okay. All right. All right. Chris Lynch, we know a lot of things that beat you, boss, but just tell us two. Just tell us two, Chris Lynch.
I think what's his name? Aggie. Uh, he basically, I mean, ego is the thing you don't want to be wrong. That you always want to be right. Yeah, that cannot work in a relationship. And I think I know that, and I need to work on that basically. But and the next thing is Gio, one of Gio is patient. Sometimes yeah, when you see madness, you just don't have the patient part. But sometimes you can let stuff play out because it's not harmful to anyone or anything. So just let it play out. But me not like when nothing play out basically.
All right. And
Yeah, so
um,
patience is a big thing.
Raj is saying, I'm toxic and I shut down and shut out easily. Normally think that I'm right on most things. But you're also wrong on a lot of things, Raj. Just to let you know. I think I also lack tolerance. And Tokian is saying stubbornness is a Jamaican thing. For some reason, we take pride in being stubborn. Jamaican women have a
Okay.
degree in a stubbornness. They believe say if they're not stubborn, they're not Jamaican. For some reason, I don't know why. But Wally, go ahead, boss. Tell us your two.
All right. When I get upset, I shout.
Monster.
So hey Reggie. Yeah, when I get upset, I shout. So I have to, especially when you're in a public space, if I feel that you're doing something that is unreasonable, and worse, if it's something that I tell you that I don't like, and you do it, I'm going to get upset, and when I start to vent, I'm going to get loud, and so that's something that I want to work on to do less of that. The other thing also is to be more, not to be overly technical. So, for example, if my partner say, boy, you are so unreasonable, how come you come for me so late, you don't care about me, my first response is going to be, but how can you say I don't care about you? And then I list out all the instances where I show that I care about you. But you kind of miss the point. The thing to do first and foremost is to say, boy, babes, I'm really sorry for picking you up late. That wasn't
Yeah,
the intention. And then no, I
absolutely.
can go and then no, I can go into boy base, they kind of make me feel away when you say me not care about you.
Absolutely.
So leave that explanation part at the back end, because when you take it on like that, it make her feel that how she feel is not important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Daniel, finish
Okay.
us off, boss.
So, well, I think one of the biggest things I personally need to work on is patience. Me personally,
Patience.
would want something, me want it now, and it's like I have to slow myself down and say, hey, you know what? Maybe wife needs a little bit of time to adjust. Maybe she needs to prepare her thing. We don't need to leave this instant. Maybe we can wait 5 more minutes or something like that. The other thing on top of that, what me personally need to, well, me I try to work on right now is really work on home life balance because I work a whole lot, and that's really it.
Okay. All right. And here is Tokian saying it's not a Jamaican woman thing, it's for both genders. We joke about it in comedy and we all agree. This
Yeah,
is
me
a big
personally stubborn.
problem. We need to stop taking pride in being stubborn and arrogant. Any comments, any disagreements?
Well,
Any,
Look,
what I can say categorically, although I can agree to an extent with both genders, where stubbornness is concerned, especially where saying sorry is concerned, men say sorry way quicker and more often than women. By far, it's not even close because one of the things as men is that we want to get over the argument quickly because if the argument go long, certain things can happen.
yeah.
So we want to make things right quickly, and then also as a man, we can't bother with the contention and the days and days of malice. Where women are more adept at doing that. As a man, after 3 days of not talking, you don't say, all right, come, make we just, resolve this. We do specialize in the silent treatment and
question,
and all of that.
question, man. Can I ask one?
Yeah,
What?
but
Yeah.
Daniel, you have to get louder, man. You have to
Oh,
get louder.
yeah. Probably hear me a little bit.
Yeah, man, may I hear better now.
All right. So, I have a question for Wally. Why do you think that if women have less likelihood of forgiving you for some of these things versus men being more forgiving?
Hold on. Is that man ask that?
I don't
Yeah.
feel say, I don't feel say.
Brother, you don't know female. Brother,
Hey,
female
hey,
can't tell us
hey, hey,
them sorry
remember,
or them
hey,
wrong.
hey, remember that Daniel is with Chris Lynch, so their experiences are different than us.
No, that don't make no sense though, Ken. Because the man would have to be with
I'm
the
just,
man
I'm
would
just,
have to be with other females
I-
outside of that.
I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. I'm
No,
just
man.
messing around. But
The
Wally,
reason
answer the
I
man
ask you,
question.
Sorry, why men see it? Why men are more likely to see it? Well, two reasons. One is that as I said, we know that if the woman is upset with us, certain things now gonna happen. Right? That is one reason. Two, we can't bother with the nagging and the long mouth and all of them something. We can't bother with it. So sometimes there is genuineness in saying sorry, but sometimes you just say sorry because you just can't bother with the long argument. You don't really address the issue, but you just can't bother with the long argument. So you just say sorry if you done the argument.
So Wally,
Mhm.
Wally, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When your woman is upset, have you ever sit back and look at the role that you play in her being upset?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things with me is that I fairness is very important to me, right? Fairness is very important to me. So if if somebody is upset with me,
Mhm.
if I will look at the situation where I'm wrong. I will say, boy, I apologize. I look into it. I apologize. And
Mhm.
then where I think that the response is a bit over the top, then I tackle that on the back end. But you just want, for me, peace of mind is very, very, very important. So one of the things anybody who is involved with me can tell you is that, all right, if Don had a habit of doing something that I don't like at the start of the relationship, he may do it later on, but the frequency will gradually get further and further and further apart because me just can't deal with contention.
All right, Daniel. So listen, and obviously, I'm going to pick on you and Chris Lynch a lot because I'm really fascinated by, you know, what the happenings, right? Because listen,
Look like you have a lot of interest there, Ken.
well,
sorry,
well, listen,
sorry.
listen. You never know. You never know. I'm just
And
saying.
Wally laughing like that, something suspicious. But go ahead, Ken.
Listen, no man, I've never, and this is probably due to ignorance, but but I've never spoken to like a male friend or a counterpart that has really been in a relationship with somebody from another. So it's really quite new to me, and it's intriguing, right? So, like, I want to know what. So, Daniel, what are your arguments like? Give me no, Catalan. I'm not eyes on white girl. Jamaican me think the straight Catalan. But um
Oh,
Daniel, like what are your arguments like? Because listen, sometimes when me I argue, with my Jamaican woman is a back and forth thing. We're going at it. What are the arguments like? Is it like, come on, Daniel, let's like stop, or like what is the arguments like? Like I'm curious.
Just like any other woman, brother, like you're not gonna get in the argument about some foolishness where you not even expect. Like, oh, you never really wash the plate at home. I like how you wash the plate. And I say, yo, them look at something that after a while, me personally, me not like deal with them something that so me just make it known and say, yo, me not like deal with that instead of have an argument. Just say, yo, this is how you fix this for me. I'm usually change or something like that.
Okay. How about you, Christian?
But the
It's the
big back
same.
and
How about
forth,
the
big
same for
argument,
you, Chris?
me can't bother it.
yeah, man. Nothing where I say you don't face, Like I tell you earlier again, there's not a big difference in terms of anything except culture. That she probably do something different from you, but it's the same argument. She might see a look on a girl and she a wonder, and a argument are the same thing. Them jealous, just every female jealous, just the same. So are the same thing, then, man.
Okay. All right. So the last thing that we're going to talk about really quick. So before that, gentlemen, right? So you guys have told us, two things. A couple weeks or probably a month from now, I'm going to ask you guys again those same two things. What has improved, what has changed, because I believe that we must, this women are saying that men don't take accountability. So we must take some accountability in what we're doing, in our marriages, in our relationships. Whether we're talking to purple, green, black, gold, whatever it is, we must take some accountability. I have a question. There's a question, and I think I'll ask Gio this question first. I think I'll start with Gio. Gio, there's a thing out there where you are with a person, right? You guys are having problems. Just tell me why it happened. You guys are having problems. You break up with this person for whatever problems you guys are having, but then you start a link with your sneaky link, the girl with the dip on the side from morning, but your wholesome relationship, you leave. Is there a particular rationale behind it? Because I know Wally talked about peace earlier. Is it a peace factor? Why do you believe cause that out there in our Jamaican men?
Repeat the question because I don't know if I'm my internet or your internet. It's in and out.
It,
But repeat the question.
Wally, you hear me clearly?
Yeah, hearing you clearly.
All right. All right. So I'm saying, all right, there's a thing that's going on out there where men will break up with their personal girl in order to facilitate their sneaky links or their side woman. And I'm saying, is that a new wave? Is that a new woke wave? Is that a new thing that is good? Like, what is the cause of that?
Yeah, for understanding a certain question, yeah, ask Gio. Gio is a different type of man.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Remember that on a podium you have first and second. And in order for the person where they are second and for go first is either them have to beat that person, they are the person where they are first retire. So me not understand where really are going this. So and then again, me tell you say me is a type of person, me try to fix when me have, if crazy glue now work, me use epoxy because me now go start over about brother. Me now go sit down and ask no woman what is her favorite food and what is her me can't bother with that brother. Me work with them me have no. Them have a saying where say the ring are the smallest size handcuff, so if you choose your inmate wisely. Enough man they are prison for the wrong things. So if you marry the wrong woman, me just stay with a life sentence with her. I just simple as that. Me don't
Mm.
know some man I go tell you say, oh, I find this in my side girl she's comforting and this or that. She a go comforting to your brother because you not see her more time like how you see your wife. She a go be comforting to you. And the next thing when man need for understanding, see moment a woman stop complaining and stop nag you, something not right. Something is not right. So that's just basically my 2 cents as regards to your question.
Honestly, Gio, when a woman stop complaining and nag me, honestly, to me, I think everything okay. To me.
You're
So,
in a trouble. You're in a trouble.
or you say, Ansin, I'm a milk.
It not gonna be that. It's not every woman stays so.
Yeah.
It's not every woman. I can tell you that. It's not every woman stays so. A woman will left you physically, mentally for all 10 years and still live with you, and she not cheat with her next man. She just left you and just there by herself. So it's not every time a woman things now go right with you and you're female, she a cheat. Man need to understand that. It's not every woman say so. They're still female, good female that grace the face of the earth, you know. Them just overshadowed by the dolls, you know. It's just simple as that.
Okay, all right. So, Gio, you mentioned something earlier that I think is very interesting. You're saying that if you are with a woman and things are not going well, you don't want to go and ask somebody as a favorite color. So, at what point, Gio, do you call it quits? At what point do you say, we're not compatible, this is no
Brother,
longer serving me?
brother, may I go say this to you? Me I'm 31 in August, brother. When me I go start over next woman for? Brother, some have to work, brother. Yo, you see next 2 years from now, Android charge, I go charge iPhone. So why me can't stay and charge my woman?
Hey, but I'm not less to say, boss. Now you're full of too much thought, brother. You have too much...
Brother, but it's the truth, brother. And the truth, you have to try work with where you... Alright, in our initial stage, you're not going to know what the problem. You're not going to know what the problem. You have to just work. In a relationship, you find out what the problem. You have to find out, give and take, and all of them something there. So some of them things they have to understand. But why? Alright. I tell you already, you know, some man write down 10 things where them a look for in a woman now. Some of them get all 8, 7, and 9, you know, and Tony that, you know, still a 1 for the 10, you know. So then you now go find that, brother. If you want a perfect woman, you have to go bill her out a wax and instill all the characteristics where you look for in a woman in a she.
So, boy, G always give me a lot. I can't have a talk about it.
But look what Gio says. He's not gonna ask, another woman, what's your favorite food? You meet her parents, you remember 2 more names, you have to remember cousin names. Brother, my brain can't take any more of them information, It's after a certain point, that is it. So you see, if it don't work, that's it. That is it. So I told Ken, I say if this doesn't work, that's it. Because I'm not starting over. I can't meet no more family, go to more family vacation, dinner and them things. Ask for your favorite color. When is your birthday? No, fam. Even your phone has a particular amount of space that it can't go beyond. And that's it. My brain has the same thing. I don't want to learn anything more. Don't want to meet anybody new. I don't want anything else. That's it. So
remember, probably you guys look funny from a different point of view, listen, my partner when I'm there with now, I look her from high school.
Hold on. Is it sensational?
No, that negative and that. I don't even know who name sensational. It's what it is, man. No, I'm trying out for this girl from high school.
All right.
It's a workout. And
see the Gio when I left. See that? See that?
I don't even know who names her brother. I don't even know who names her.
Go ahead, boss.
No, it's all right. May I try from a girlfriend for a day in high school. Never work in high school. When she did at college, me that try it, never work. And then in 2017, it finally I get some. It start off rocky and you smooth out things and all of them Sunday. As me I say, reach a stage now in my life where if any stumbling blocks there, anything where there any bad concrete, me I go just try be the unity feet work. Because one, me know say is a good woman me have. And she know say is a good man she have. She
All
know
right,
me have good weight and
Gio,
them something.
so Gio, help us out a little bit because we have to leave here in a couple minutes. But help us out a little bit. How do you know that she's a good woman, Gio? Let us know.
Me know say she's a good man.
Of course.
All right, me I go tell you this. You see, when me and grand people ask me say, who motivate you? My mother. I see my mother and my girlfriend. Me don't need to say nothing else. And I was raised in a single home. It's just me and my mother. I never have no father around. My father figure I'm older cousin them. So me have to learn how to feed them mistake too. So if me see my mother and a female, that is it. Me see my mother and my girlfriend, it done. Me don't need to say nothing else.
Okay. All right. Can't argue with that, boss. Can't argue with that at all. All right, so Gio, so you are saying that you have hunted her down for. So Gio, do you think that the fact that you have been hunting her from high school, and listen, I'm not saying I'm just asking questions here, right? The fact that you have been hunting her down from high school, do you think that plays a role in your journey, in your story, in your mind, where you say, boy, me hunt down a girl that's so long, me can't make she get to it. By no means, she just can't get to it.
Me nah go say nay, I me nah go say because throughout the journey things happen where it could have end. And me work on my side and make things not happen. And then again you have to understand, the popular food they cook on Wednesday, if me see say it now go my way, I just cook that.
All right, boss. All right, I think we're gonna leave it here so tonight. I think we're gonna leave it here so because the people them love of Geo, sensational. Felicia look like say, she gone from Levon to Geo. Everybody is Geo, Geo, Geo. So listen, Raggy, welcome back, boss. Thank you for being here. Congratulations once again. Wally, you know how it is. D, well, Daniel, you're welcome back anytime. Chris Lynch, now watch your face. Thank you so much for educating us. Hey, listen, for the men on the podcast and those who are watching, if you want some extra tips, you can link up with Chris Lynch or Daniel. They can give you the raw, unedited version and so. So, thank you guys so much. Producer, big up yourself. Have a good night until next week, Sunday.
All right, bless up.